Hey everybody! I know it's been a really long time. I was dealing with some sick stuff lately, so we're actually going to be live streaming today. I'm going to try to take it a little easy. We're going to be doing some tarot cards and oracle cards today. So I just need to get the Amazon Live people going, and then we will be on our way. All right, we are now officially on Amazon Live. Hello, nice to see everybody again. I know it's been a few days. So today I just wanted to go through some tarot cards, oracle decks that I personally have. Maybe it'll inspire you to go get some of your own. So I'm just going to go through whatever comes up out of my tarot card box that I have right away. And that means today we're going to start with the Edgar Allan Poe deck. And I actually just started, I started reading some of Poe's works for the first time ever. So now I can actually understand what's going on in this deck. So let me share with you what is in here. First of all, I was so surprised when I opened this up that it was so colorful. You can kind of see that here. I'm so glad my camera is actually working today. So here is actually what it looks like on the inside. Aren't the purples so vibrant? There's a lot of purple and blue going on in this deck and some really beautiful pinks too. Super surprising for an Edgar Allan Poe deck. I thought it would just be like this big gray wash with some black and red maybe. So let's look inside. One cool thing about this deck, if you are an Edgar Allan Poe fan, each illustration in here, let me move some of my stuff, is actually associated with a scene in any of his works. And they actually list out exactly where it's from. So for instance, the lovers, you'll see here, it's from the Telltale Heart. And it even includes like where it's from. And each card gives a full illustration here, which is very cool. That's kind of abnormal for a lot of tarot card decks. Usually the major arcana has like a full illustration, but they've even provided it for some of the minor things like King of Wands. We have here, let's see, Three of Swords even has like a big, oh, that might have been a little gory. Sorry. Anyway, so there are some gory photos in here because it's Poe. It is darker. We are the dark side of the library. So let me just share with you guys everything that's in this book, and I'll share with you some cards. First of all, again, we have the explanation where it's from, what scene it's even from, and then we also have here, we have the reading. So we actually get a larger explanation of where each scene is from. And then we have a very short description of each thing. So the upright meaning, for instance, for this one, let's see what this one is. This one is the world. So we have the upright, which is completion, success, achievement, resolution, etc. And we have reversal readings in this one as well, which is also very cool for those that like those kinds of things. Last thing about this book that's really cool, we actually do have Poe spreads. So for instance, we have the Raven spread. I'm sure you can guess which one that is. We have the Dream Within the Dream spread. So for instance, the Dream Within the Dream spread right here. Some of the questions you will be asking each card. We have what your dream means, the higher meaning of your dream, the spiritual lesson of your dream. So this 3-card spread is meant to guide you in meditative visions or any dreams you have while asleep. Interesting. All right, so let me share with you what the cards actually look like because they're very cool. So here we have the back of the cards. Isn't that awesome? And it is really bright. I love the eyeball. All right, so I have to kind of tailor some of these to make sure they're not too gory. So we have the 7 of Wands. You can see they use a full color. We have the Emperor, which was the cover, and it's Poe. So one thing that's interesting about these cards that's a little different than some of the usual tarot cards is we don't see a border around this. It's almost like a little window into a scene of any of Poe's works, which is actually kind of cool. I like how open it is. It doesn't feel as claustrophobic as some cards do. And again, really beautiful illustrations. Here is the Page of Swords. Sorry, I know it's a little fuzzy, but I'm hoping you guys get the gist of what it is. Three of Pentacles. For those of you that have just joined me today, make sure to leave a comment down in the comments section. I'd love to know where you guys are watching from. I'm also going to put that banner up because I forgot. It's been a while. Here's the Ace of Pentacles. I love the beetles. They're so cool. And I'll share with you a couple more because I actually do have quite a few decks to go through today. This one's pretty awesome. The King of Wands. And if you know anything about Poe's works, I'd love to hear if you guys can guess which scene and which story or poem this is actually from. That would be awesome. I know that Carrie would actually probably be able to nail all of these. And one more, Justice. I love this card because I love just the glass work here is just absolutely it's gorgeous. So the Poe deck is really cool for any Poe fans out there. If you have somebody who in your life that is like a Poe obsessed and loves tarot cards, the Edgar Allan Poe tarot card deck and guidebook is a really cool gift idea. I keep thinking about Christmas. I know it's a long ways off, but I like to be prepared sometimes when Christmas is coming super fast. So I'll forget. So I like to keep these things in mind as gift options too, because tarot cards can be really personal and really great and people really like them. So here again is the Edgar Allan Poe tarot card deck. It's really cool. And I love that it actually takes from specific scenes from Poe's works. And you can actually read about it in the compendium. It's very, very cool. So check this one out. The next one, and like I said, I'm kind of going through the box. So it's out of order. I apologize. So here we have the Halloween Oracle. So obviously we have Countdown to Halloween down here. We're very excited about Halloween over here. Excuse me while I have some water. Okay, so there is a difference between Oracle decks and Tarot decks. Oracle decks can be I know a lot of people that actually prefer Oracle decks than tarot decks just because there's it's a little more specific and well the cards themselves are specific or themed in a specific way. So clearly this is Halloween themed, so a lot of the oracle questions are going to be like it's going to be very Halloween-esque and Halloween informational. So I like here we've got this awesome box. You can see all of the different symbols that are all Halloween themed, like ghosts and cats and bats and pumpkins and even a cauldron. I actually have not even seen that before until now. So here we have a small little guidebook. This is by Stacy DeMarco. None of the pictures in here are colored, but something that's really cool about this, and I actually used this for Halloween 2 years ago. It actually talks about the history of Halloween. Each card does, and how each card is associated with Halloween. But because Halloween is technically the thinnest of the thinnest time for the veil, I'm sorry, my brain is still a little crazy. I took some, anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, so because it's the thinnest, it's easier to connect with your ancestors. So they actually in here give you some guidance on how you can do that through the Halloween oracle cards. And I did that and it was really interesting. I've never done it before until then. So I really like that. So that's something special about this particular deck. Here we have even a history of, here we go. So like this is the black cat. We get a little poem right here, but we get a whole history of black cats and Halloween, why they're so important. And then finally, more towards the end of each card, we finally get a bit of a question you would probably ask yourself, or how each card is associated with your reading. So for instance, in the bottom here, should the slinky black cat cross your path through this oracle, know that good luck and fortune will be meeting you promptly. Also know that your luck will be even luckier if you are prepared to take advantage of every special opportunity that comes your way. So it's kind of nice because these are more open-ended and, you know, just a little, it helps you think about things a little differently. Hello, James. You said, hi, I do not believe in those cards whatsoever. And that's totally fine. You know, everybody's got their own belief system, and that's totally cool. No judgment whatsoever. So here we have, I'm just going to show you how cool these cards actually are. So, and I actually have a couple decks that are just kind of nice for a mindfulness exercises too. And that's kind of something that some people do as well. They don't necessarily believe there's any outside forces, but just a mindfulness exercise that helps you think about certain questions. So here I'm going to share with you the cards themselves. I think I had too much coffee today. My hands are all jittery. Anyway, so you can see these cards are huge. So here's my hand. Look at how big this is. So it is a little hard to shuffle this particular deck, but they're really cool. So they use an interesting mixed media. So you can see like some like photography mixed with painting, mixed with probably different just imagery in general. So like, for instance, we have this DNA and this tree. It's really beautiful. Another thing that's really cool about these cards, Maureen, thank you for the follow. And also, if you guys do like Halloween stuff, we don't just do witchy stuff over here, but we do all kinds of stuff. Make sure to give us a follow. We do horror trivia, we do dark books, children's books, toys, all kinds of stuff. And as Halloween is approaching, I know that I need help for decorations. Maybe you guys do too. Anyway, so here I like in this card. So we have, this card is called Ancestors. So it also tells us kind of what you'll get from this card ahead of time before going into the book. So it says the lore and legacy of our DNA. So it might help you think about, if you just like to pick cards and think about things as you go, this might be a really fun way to do it. Let me share with you some other cards though. We have Lady de los Muertos, which means acceptance and equality. Isn't that a beautiful card? It's one of my favorite ones. We also have the Veil. Super pretty. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about with the mixed media. You can tell that it's clearly like photography, but also some painterly illustrations going on there. Here we have Eternal Love, which is another one of my favorite cards. Love is here, or love is love, and it transcends physical death. Very cool stuff. And then let's see if I can share with you some other ones. It's not entirely super dark, but we also have like Night Song, Hidden Talents. So for those of you that just joined, we are talking about the Halloween Oracle deck. It's very cool, perfect for Halloween time. It's got a lot of Halloween information in the book itself. We have Skull of Stars, beautiful stuff. We actually have a whole set of different skull cards. Here's the Owl. Which one of these cards do you guys like the most so far? We have the Hearth. I love the gargoyle above the hearth. It's beautiful. I have a thing for gargoyles. They're pretty amazing. And then one more, and then we will move on to the next deck. We have even a zombie card, which actually means control. Isn't that interesting? So this is a really cool deck. If you really do, which set had the tree? Oh, the tree is from the Halloween Oracle deck. So I think this is the one that you're talking about, the Ancestors card, correct? Yeah, this is it's a really beautiful deck with a lot of interesting information in here. And you can find in this book how each card relates to Halloween. You get a little Halloween history throughout this entire little compendium. It's really cool. There's a lot of stuff I didn't even know about for Halloween, or history and stuff like that, that goes way beyond things that common knowledge. So anyway, we're going to move on to the next deck, but that one again for you guys is the Halloween Oracle. It's a really cool deck. It's very Halloween-esque. If you're looking for a fun Oracle deck for Halloween to do this year, you can do it with your friends or family, whoever, or just by yourself. Check this one out. So the next one I'm going to talk about, this one's a little controversial, and I will talk about why in just a second, but this one is the Dungeons and Dragons tarot card deck. So I don't know if any of you guys like to play D&D. I'd love to hear if you do, because I'm a person that loves D&D personally. So it's a beautiful deck, no question. This is a stunning deck. And I'm actually gonna take out some of these cards and show that to you guys. Also, the quality of these cards are really quite amazing. So they almost feel like canvas. Sorry, let me get some of these in order. I don't want to get too messy. Oh, this is actually upside down. Whoops. Here we go. So the deck and the art is beautiful. The quality is really great. It's really easy to like shuffle because of that canvas texture. But here's the issue that a lot of people have complained about with this deck. We have the page, but the problem is we don't know what it's the page of, and that applies to every single card. So let me see if I can find some more numerical cards for you guys. Of course, I found the major arcana right away. Okay, so for instance, we also have a 5, but we don't know what it's the 5 of. So the different minor arcana is actually the different D&D traits. So here, let's go through this deck or this compendium a little bit. So the problem is that we have wisdom, we have strength, intelligence, and what's the last one? Oh, charisma. Those are your minor arcana. But the problem is it's not labeled on any of these cards. And unfortunately, so I thought maybe I just wasn't nerdy enough. Like maybe each card was like very obviously. So for instance, I thought, well, maybe all the strength cards are going to be warriors and whatnot. And it's hard because like this is clearly a monk, and I might actually make that, I would assume that's an intelligence card just because it kind of has that magical thing going on. And I understand monks use strength, but they also use dex and they use wisdom. So anyway, you can see where there's a problem here. So it's a little hard to navigate the D&D deck, but it's really, really beautiful. The other cool thing about this deck, so I know it has a really big con, because if you're doing a big reading, it's kind of a huge pain to go through every single one of these cards and try to match the picture with each, with the number and whatnot. But the deck is so pretty. The other cool thing though about this deck is you can actually use this in your D&D campaign. So here is an example of that. It actually gives you D&D encounters. So you can see up here, there's a D&D encounter. So on the bottom of each of these cards, you see the Wizards of the Coast or D&D symbol right here. This says a mysterious person presents you with a tempting offer. So if you are a dungeon master and you're lost, or you're just like, some days you're just like, I don't really feel like thinking. This actually helps. You can just draw a card and be like, what do I want these people to do today? And then there you go. You get a prompt. Another cool thing is we have not a 5-card spread, an adventure in a spread. So you can actually plan an entire adventure out in your D&D campaign with this deck. It's quite cool, actually. So, and it's just a really nice, easy way of just having a small dungeon crawl if you really want to, or a small mini quest in a bigger D&D campaign. So this is actually quite a cool deck. Let me share with you the cards, though, a little bit further. Here we have the Strength card. I like that it features every race, every class. I think it even features main big characters. I think I already showed you guys those ones. Here, let me share with you some of these. Here we have a bard. So cool. Actually, it looks like a rogue, a bard, maybe another bard or a rogue. Here we have this one's really cute with the little dragon. That might be an artificer. Artificer. I don't know what that's called. Here we have the knight with a mallet. This one's a beautiful card. I'm assuming these ones are strength cards, but I could totally be wrong. Again, it's hard to figure out which suit it actually is. Here's the 9, but you can tell these are just absolutely stunning cards. Here's the Queen. Super beautiful card. And then one more, and then I have to drink some water. Here's this one, the 9. So cool. So if you like D&D and you have your own D&D campaign or just love Wizards of the Coast and their art style, this is a great tarot card deck. Let me get all of these in here. I'm trying to be gentle, but it's really difficult. I highly recommend this deck. It's really beautiful. It's great, durable, easy to handle, stunning, just like absolutely beautiful art. There we go. Here's the Dungeons and Dragons tarot card deck. Super cool. I do recommend it. It's actually quite fun if you can ignore the fact that the suits aren't labeled on the cards and you don't mind doing a picture match, but it's still a cool deck. All right, so I'm going to move on to a different deck and drink some water. Excuse me while I do that. I'm going to go to the Labyrinth deck because it's cute. Okay, here's the Labyrinth deck. I love the art style. I love the bold, thick lines that they use. I like that. I love just the suits in this particular deck. It's hilarious. Okay, here is the Labyrinth tarot card deck. So this is what the back of the cards actually look like, which is really fun. It kind of has a Christmas vibe to it. I'm not going to lie. I mean, maybe it's just it looks like a candy cane inside. Okay, so I'm going to just share with you guys some of the cards. Here's the Dancers. Also, these cards are very, very thick. So a lot of the times I feel like I'm pulling 2 cards at a time, but it's just because these cards are really thick. They're very durable. They're just really nice in general. Great quality. Here's the Magician. Rest in peace, David Bowie. We also have the Chariot. It's pretty amazing. We have the Empress. This deck inspires me to actually go watch the movie again. It's been a couple years since I've watched Labyrinth. Here we have the High Priestess. Isn't that awesome? So here's actually the suit. So something cool about this deck is we actually have different spreads that are Labyrinth spreads. Let me go find them. We have, hold on a second, and it's really funny. So we have Things Aren't Always What They Seem spread. So that's something I like about some of these specialty tarot card decks is we have special Labyrinth spreads or special, we have an Alice in Wonderland deck that has an Alice in Wonderland spread. Here's the Door Knocker's Conundrum. This is hilarious. I love it. We also, let's see what else we have. We have one more spread, I think. Got to get to it. I think I skipped it. Oh, You Have No Power Over Me spread. So even the questions are associated with Labyrinth. It's really fun, really cool. Something that's also really fun is the suits. So here we have the suit of poles, junk, feathers, and pots. So here is an example of an ace of poles. This is an example of junk. I love that junk is a suit in this deck. It's pretty amazing. Here's ace of junk. And then what did I say before? This one, I'm trying to remember. Pots? Maybe? No, what is that? Junk, maybe. I'm not sure. I wish, here's pots. Here we go. So something I wish that they did, especially like since we do have a suit of junk, this probably is junk, I would imagine, is I wish that they did label it on the bottom, but it's fine. I can get over it. So you can see here in the guidebook, the major arcana tends to have a big full spread photo with a upright reading and a reversed reading. That's not the same for the minor arcana. So for the minor arcana, we only have a small little photo, which is fine because usually it's not a huge illustration. And then we have a upright and a reversed reading for these as well. So if you like having upright and reversed, that's a nice thing to have and know about. What else is really cool about this deck? I mean, this deck is just in general really cool, but I'll share with you guys some more of these cards and then we'll move on to a different deck. Here we have feathers. Let's see if I can find some more of that major arcana because those guys are the best ones. Oh, here's the Ace of Pots. It tends to be, if you're in the royal spectrum of the suits, you'll have a full or a bigger illustration. So here's the Queen of Pots. All right, let's move on to a different deck because I am apparently rambling a little too much and I have a lot of decks to go through. All right, so we have, what is going to be next? So if you like dark stuff, we're going to be talking about the Vlad Dracula tarot card deck. And I have to be really careful about the imagery I share because I can't share with you all of the gory stuff. But this deck is gory. So this is a Vlad Dracula tarot card deck. So one thing that's cool about this deck is there are historical references throughout this entire deck. It's way more history related or history oriented than I did not think it was going to be. I love the gold. Oh, it's upside down. The gold shine on the box itself, and the cards also have this beautiful gold on the sides. Here, I'll share with you. See, it's beautiful. And one thing that's nice, so sometimes that when they have tarot card decks that, or just even decks of cards with the gold or silver on them, it's sometimes really hard to shuffle. That's not the case with these ones. They don't stick together. They're actually very nice to shuffle. So here I'll share with you guys the cards themselves. So here's the back. It's pretty cool. We also have the sun. So it kind of has this old English manuscript style, which I really love. And we also have a description of what the scene is. So Vlad and Radu released from captivity. So again, this entire Vlad Dracula tarot card deck is actually historical. So for instance, here we have the sun right here. And we have an entire history lesson right here on what scene this is and how it relates to history. So in 1442, when Vlad was age 13 years old, his father disobeyed the commands of the Ottoman ruler, blah, blah, blah. But it's cool. So if you're somebody that actually really enjoys this period of time in history and wants to learn more, this tarot card deck is actually going to be really informative. We also have the different meanings. So here's a divination meaning. And I believe they give you, I think they give you just a regular reading. There's no upright or reversed. It's just what it is. So that's really interesting. We also have one Vlad Dracula spread, and it's hilarious. We have the Orthodox cross spread because he was a member of the Eastern Orthodox Church. So they figured we might as well do that instead of the Celtic cross. And I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, so let me share with you some more of these images because they're pretty great, but they are really brutal. So here we have the Page of Stakes. So Stakes is one of the suits. Here we have Five of Swords. And I'm sorry if I have to go slow. Some of these cards will sneak in some really gory stuff because it's Vlad Dracula. We have the Moon. So this deck might not be for everybody. It's not super beautiful and, or whatever, but this is a really fun, almost traditional looking tarot card deck. The Chariot. What else? Let me see if I can find some other ones that might be a little borderline. We have the Queen of Swords. Let's see if I can find some other ones. The Lovers. Gotta be careful. Here we go. But yeah, it's got this interesting English manuscript style like I was talking about earlier. Here's one that's not gory, but it's, it's violent. Strength. This is nowhere near as violent as this deck can get. All right, and then the Hierophant. And then I'll move on to the next deck. But this is a cool deck. I love the gold on the side. Beautiful back to the deck. Really interesting history lesson there too. There's a lot I didn't know about Vlad Dracula in general. It's very cool. So if that's something that interests you, there's the Vlad Dracula tarot card deck with lots of history, beautiful imagery, a little gory, still really fun if that's your thing. Let me put it away real fast. And then we will move on to something maybe a little prettier. We have the Alice in Wonderland deck. That's what we're going to talk about next. So yes, definitely prettier. All right, so here is this one. This one's really cute. I like the styling. It reminds me of vintage children's books, illustrations a little bit, but clearly it's from the Disney world of Alice in Wonderland, which is, it's still pretty fun. So here is the inside, tarot and guidebook, which is very nice. Here we have the back of the cards. I love the teapot and the teacups, super cute. So on this one, I was talking about how we have different tarot spreads. So we have the doorknob's key. We also have the follow the white rabbit. And then we also have the Cheshire Cat's conundrum. That's a huge spread, but it's really fun. So I like that we have the different Alice in Wonderland spreads in here. We also have, for the major arcana, we do have the entire page illustration provided, an upright and reverse to meaning, a small description. Here's the different suits. We have the suit of flowers, hedgehogs, spears, and teacups, and they're really cute. I can't wait to share it with you. We also have, in the minor arcana, we don't take up the entire page, but they do have a lot of really cool illustrations. So let's get into that. It's a really fun deck. If you know somebody that likes Alice in Wonderland, this would make a great gift. So here's the page of flowers. Here's just a regular, this is the 4 of flowers, but the illustrations for the royal portion of the suits and just the numerical version is still both really fun. Here's the sun with Alice. These are great illustrations. I'm trying to remember who did the illustrations for this. I'm going to have to relook at that. Here we have the moon. Isn't he evil? He looks adorable. I love the Cheshire Cat. We also have the star. We have a lot of scenes in here. It's been a while since I've watched the Disney version of Alice in Wonderland. And there's a few characters in there I totally forgot about, like the Queen of Hearts, the King of Hearts. I forgot that he was even in there. Here we have the Fool. Dinah. Here is the page of teacups. I don't know why that's on the teacups. She doesn't have a teacup on her, but still really cute. Here is the Knight of Hedgehogs. I see this is a character that I forgot about, but now I'm remembering. We have Temperance. So it's a really cool set with a really unique design in general. Just the illustrations are just very unique. I've not seen very many tarot decks with this kind of illustration. Suspension, interesting. This is a fun card. For those of you that just joined, make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know where you guys are watching from. What kind of tarot decks do you guys own? We have Justice. Look at him. He's so cute. And I'll do 2 more, and then we will move on to a different deck. Here we have the Hermit. I love the sleeping dormouse. So cute. I want to show the, oh, here it is. Here's some hedgehogs. There's one of the suits is the hedgehogs. We also have flowers and spears. This is a great, God, I love this card. This is so pretty. 10 of flowers. All right. I'll move on. So this is the Alice in Wonderland tarot card deck. It's really, really pretty, really fun. I think this is a great gift option for those that really enjoy Alice in Wonderland. And it's the Disney version, just so you're aware. It doesn't take those classic illustrations from Alice in the Looking Glass. It's still really cool. I'm trying to see I'm not seeing who actually does all of the illustrations. I will look that up later. But here's this one. Very cool. Let me see. Oh, we're going to talk about this next one. This is one of my favorite decks. It is the Tarot of the Divine. So let me grab that real quick. So Yoshi Yoshitani has a really unique art style, really vibrant and fun. I love this deck, and I will share with you why. But we have this beautiful gold all around the box itself. You just open it up like a little treasure chest. And then here we go. Here is the back of the cards. Oops. Super pretty. It is super easy to shuffle these. They are almost a canvas-like texture. So it's really easy to shuffle these, and it's really durable. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's pretty awesome. So let me share with you the cards, and I'll tell you why I like them so much. Here we have the Two of Wands, the Seven of Cups. I wonder if you guys can guess what this set is supposed to represent. The Moon, which was on the cover of the box. Beautiful card. Here is Death. We also have the World. So this deck is fun because each of these cards represents a different story, a different myth or folk tale from all around the world. And I love this deck because it's very inclusive. Like, you know, the sun we have in Egypt, Egyptian god. We also have the Hermit, which this one looks almost like maybe it's Danish. I'll have to look it up. But here you'll see in the guidebook, we have here like the Nightingale. This is the Four of Cups. This is a tale from Denmark. Here's a story of why this card is associated with the Four of Cups, and then a short upright and reversed reading for this deck. It's very cool. I love the illustrations in here, and I love basically being able to look at a card and be wowed by the art and think to myself, where is the story from, and go research the story just a little further, because there is just it's just a very small blurb about the story, so you can actually go on your own and learn about each little tale as you go, but they're really cool. So as you can tell, we have the Philippines, Mongolia, Nigeria, and China just on this page. We don't have any special readings, I believe, in this card deck, which is totally fine. I'm pretty sure there's not. No, there's not. But let me share with you some more of these illustrations because they are really unique and really beautiful, and they represent all kinds of cultures. So here's the Knight of Wands. We also have the Knight of Coins. I really like the cow. He's really cute. Okay, so then we also have the Nine of Cups. This one is the King of Wands. So we get some animals and people and all kinds of interesting illustrations. The Page of Swords is really beautiful. We have here the Justice card. So for those of you that just joined me today, make sure to comment down below where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. If you guys like witchy stuff, Halloween stuff, I know as things start getting closer to Halloween, I do like to know what trendy Halloween things there are. Give us a follow because we're going to be doing a lot of Halloween, dark-oriented things, horror, gothic. If that's your thing, stick around, give us a follow, and then you'll get notified when we do go live. Anyway, so we're going to keep going with this awesome deck. Here we have the Five of Swords, the Four of Cups, and then I'll share with you just a few more of these. I mean, I could share with you guys this entire deck, but I will refrain. I want you guys to actually check them out on your own. Ooh, this one's a little gory, but it's not too bad. This one's 10 of Swords. Swords tends to be a pretty negative suit. Here's the 8 of Swords. And then the 5 of Cups. And then I will move on, I promise. Here we go. 5 of Cups. It's hard. So my camera's not doing some of these justice. So the shawl right here, it looks entirely white to you guys, but it's actually, it has some texture. I don't know if I can get it to angle in a way where you can see that it's actually a little transparent and there's a lot of texture here. So my camera's not doing this deck justice, but it is bright, vibrant, fun, beautiful. It has all kinds of stories from different cultures around the world. If that's your thing, I definitely recommend checking out the Tarot of the Divine by Yoshi Yoshitani. I might actually get to meet her this week, and I'm really excited about it. So here is the Tarot of the Divine. Beautiful deck. So cool. Let's move on to a different deck. So this one's a little goofy, but it's really cute. If you are somebody that maybe isn't sure about tarot card decks and you don't like dark stuff, I have a really cutesy deck. So hold on a second. All right, and some water. This is a kawaii deck. So I really like this deck. It's really cute. If you have kids that are that just want to dabble in this is a great deck option. Or if you just have somebody, life can be a little crazy, and especially right now. And sometimes we don't want a serious deck or just serious stuff. We just want something that's a little lighthearted. This is the deck for you. So let's look at it. Here we have the Quiet Tarot deck book. Here's what the back of the cards look like. They're very cute. You can see a little space, celestial oriented things. Let me share with you some of the images and I'll break down the actual book for you. Here we have the Six of Cups. These are penguins riding on seahorses. The Seven of Cups. It's just a very cute and approachable deck. Here's the Star. I really like this deck. It's just so cute. We have the Tower, which tends to be, if you ever get a tower in your reading, usually people are like, oh no. This makes it palatable, at least. Here we have the Ten of Swords. It's brutal because you can kind of see there's like little sword or things sticking out of them, but they're cupcakes. So again, it makes it a little palatable. Here's a Strength card. I have to be honest, this is one of my favorite decks to go to. It's just a really cute deck. And sometimes the world is crazy enough. Sometimes we just need to take a break, chill out, and just enjoy a fun little reading. Here's the Death card. I can't tell if that's like a dinosaur skull or we have a mammoth, obviously, which is kind of it's just hilarious. So let me break down this deck for you. Here we have small, tiny illustrations on each page. We also you do not need a reversal reading with this. And it basically, it gives you answers in a very nice way. So for instance, if you get the Fool, it says the world is full of risk, but wonders too. Will you go searching? Will you take a chance? What are you willing to risk? Step on out. The world is waiting. But remember, this is a wild card. So it makes tarot reading just a little nicer, because sometimes it can be a little grim, some of the readings you get, especially in the sword suit, but or the Tower, for instance. But this deck is great for some, for big dark evil events, just because it's so subtle. So for instance, like the Tower, it says sudden disruption may be on the way. What kind of upheavals have you had recently? How did you bounce back? See, I like that they're making it more positive. Draw on that strength to face the change that is coming without fear or hesitation, which is totally a nice way of talking about the Tower card. Usually it's like, things suck, I'm sorry. So anyway, so this is a really cute deck for beginner tarot readers, or if you just want something really easy and simple and approachable, and you just want to take a break from some of that grim stuff going on in the world. We also have a continuing on your journey. So here we have each card each horoscope is associated with specific cards and what you can do with that. So there's no special readings in here, but we do have fun little add-ons for this deck. Let me share with you some more of these cards because they are really cute. Here we have the Lovers. I just happened to flip to some of my favorite cards. We have the Death card, or the Devil card. I love this card. And this next card is really fun too. We have the High Priestess card. The illustrations are really beautiful. I was actually surprised. This is not usually something I enjoy, the styling, but for some reason I cracked, I guess. It was so good. The Hierophant, and then I'll do a few more and then we'll move on to a different darker deck. Here's the Four of Wands for sloth lovers. I hate sloths. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love them. They freak me out. Here we have the Three of Wands, and one more, the Two of Wands. So check this one out. This one's really fun. Again, if you are somebody that maybe might be dabbling in tarot cards, or you have a kid that might really want to try it out, it's a really great deck. I have to get this open. Somehow I got this. Oh, here we go. It's just really simple and easy, approachable and fun. No stress either. So yeah, perfect. The Kawaii Tarot card deck, super cool. All right, so the next one, we're going to do a Nightmare Before Christmas deck. Let's see if I can find this in my carousel. There we go. Here we have the Nightmare Before Christmas deck. This one came out this year. It's really, really fun. Again, a great gift option. It's beautifully, beautifully done. So here is what it looks like on the inside. Isn't it beautiful? We have here the tarot guide, or the tarot deck guidebook. We also have different spreads, which is very cool. I'm all about that. So we have a peek behind Cyclops' eye. We also have Blown to Smithereens. And let's see what else we have. We have one more. Oh, Eureka. Here we go. So we have 3 different spreads, which is really cool. Let's see what the suits are. I think the suits are the same. Oh, they're not. Okay, so we have candles, presents, needles, and potions for your sets, for your minor arcana, and then your typical major arcana. So let's look at all of these amazing cards. Here we have the Fool. That's fun that I immediately pulled that one. So I love the illustrations on here because it really, I think it brings to life, it's 2-dimensional, but it still has that essence of the movie where it has that claymation or whatever. I think it's claymation. Oh my goodness. What is happening to my brain? Anyway, so we have needles. It's really just a beautifully illustrated deck in general. I love Sally, especially in this deck, for all the many cards she's in, is so beautiful. I love the different textures and designs on her dress. Here we go. Teresa says you can get good doodling ideas from tarot cards. I love your background setting with the books. Thank you very much. That's a great idea, and I've never done that before, getting doodling ideas from tarot cards. There are a lot of cool things you can do with tarot cards, and I like them and again, I would say doodling is a great mindfulness exercise where you just kind of put things on a piece of paper. But it's really great because sometimes the guidebooks will ask you specific questions, and it helps you be a little more introspective, like, why is my day feeling so crappy today? And then you start thinking about those things, and maybe you weren't doing that before. So I do like tarot cards for more than just that mystical level. There's so many ways of using them, and plus you can use them as playing cards. We did the D&D deck earlier today, and you can actually use the D&D tarot card deck for your D&D campaign. So there, again, so many uses for tarot. All right, let me keep moving on these cards. So we have the Ace of Candles. So my favorite suit in this deck is the Presents, because they're evil looking and Halloween-esque. Here we have Potions. Let me see if I can find some more of the major arcana and presents. Here we go. Here's why I love the present cards. They're really cute and Halloween themed. So Teresa says, oh yeah, we are coming up on Halloween. Yes, this is why this deck is so much fun. And again, I love Nightmare Before Christmas for Halloween and Christmas. I like being able to merge the two together and having it'd be awesome to just celebrate from October all the way to December. Why not? That would just be awesome. So again, cool. Yeah, Halloween. This is a great deck for Halloween. I went through a Halloween Oracle deck. There's so many. I'm so excited. Speaking of Halloween, if you guys love Halloween or the dark aesthetic at all, give us a follow, because we do live stream quite often and we talk about all kinds of stuff. Like, we have horror trivia game nights. We do these kinds of things like witchy essentials, tarot card decks. We also do like dark and creepy gothic toys or books, adult fiction, things that maybe most people don't really talk about. I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, give us a follow if that's kind of your thing, the Halloween aesthetic. Plus, we're going to be talking about, Halloween decor and stuff as the holidays start approaching. Anyway, I'm having a hard time today. Here we have more potions. Teresa says we need to have Halloween in spring like we have Christmas in July. I totally agree. Thankfully, we were talking about things a lot more than we used to in some places. That is absolutely true. I highly agree. There's nothing super, I mean, like Halloween can be a little creepy, but why? I don't know. I have a whole thing. I'm not going to talk about it on Amazon Live, I guess. I won't get philosophical about Halloween yet. Anyway, here I'll move on to some more of these cards. Let's see if I can find some more cool. Ooh, this one's fun. The 10 of Presents. I don't know why I loved the snake so much as a kid. It was one of my favorite monsters in Nightmare Before Christmas. Here's the Death card. Don't you love the gate, the skull? They did such a good job with this deck. This one came out this year, so it's a really fun, beautiful deck, and it's new, so a lot of people don't necessarily have it yet. Here's Temperance. You could see cute little Sally. And then one more, and we will move on to a different deck that is a little more, it's less witchy, but it's still really cool. Here's the Hermit. And then, sorry, I'm going to talk about the Hanged Man. Here we go. Isn't he cute? I don't know why Sandy Claus, was also one of my favorite characters, which is strange. Anyway, moving on. So that was the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot card deck. So much fun. The illustrations are really, really, really well done in this deck. I love the different Nightmare Before Christmas spreads in here, and it's a great gift option. So I like to keep Christmas in mind as I'm doing some of these things on Amazon Live, because because Christmas will be coming up soon. I can't believe Halloween is going to be basically right around the corner. So keep Christmas in mind and gifts in mind for your dark oriented friends or your Halloween loving people. So anyway, Nightmare Before Christmas tarot card deck. Next one we're going to talk about is a little more philosophical, less witchy. So Teresa says, did you watch James and the Giant Peach? I think my son read it in school and he loved it. Amazon gives presents all year long. That is true. Amazon does. I guess that's the new Santa Claus is Amazon. Oh, I hate saying that. But I did also watch James and the Giant Peach. I actually haven't read it though, so I probably should do that sometime. So next, here we go. So for those of you Teresa says she loves fairies. I do too. Speaking of fairies, hold on. You got me all excited because this is my first tarot oracle card deck I have ever owned, and the first one that I purchased for myself, and it's Brian Froud. And this is by far my favorite deck. Even though it's old, like this came out in 2000, this is still like my favorite deck. I love it. Okay, so this one I'm going to talk about super fast. For those of you that aren't necessarily witchy or whatever, that's fine. No judgment. This is a cool deck. It's more for mindfulness exercises like I've been talking about. We have this beautiful deck here that asks very interesting questions and helps you be a little more introspective about your day. So I use this particular deck for single card reads myself. So I usually ask myself a question that is kind of along the lines of what kind of lessons can I learn from today? So here I'll share with you what these cards look like. They're very different. So we have these white cards, which have kind of like a more very creative, illustrative, chaotic maybe illustration on the card. But then we have more black cards, which are more design oriented, and they're very interesting. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to look at the word associated with it. So flow, for instance, and you'd go in this book, there's small little guidebook here, and you'd find where flow is in their index, where there's quite a few here. It's a little hard to navigate this particular deck, I'm not going to lie, but it's still really nice for single card reads. So let's see if I can find flow. Okay, I did. 33. So here we have, I hope you can see this. So we have here a little haiku. So, and then we also have more of that mindfulness, the questions that you might ask yourself. So, flow with ease, let yourself dissolve particle by particle until you find unity within the watery current of life. So, it'll ask you questions and start helping you think about certain things, such as adopt this mindset, try it on, and see your experience shift to that of grateful, loving interactions. Embrace the nurturing, flowing energy of the divine feminine through shamanic, I think I said that incorrectly. Sorry, attunement to deep sea creatures. Call upon, it helps with like thinking about things in a different way when you ask more open-ended questions like, what can I learn from today? So Teresa says, I like fictionally mythical fairies. When I was a kid growing up in Iowa, I used to think lightning bugs were Tinkerbell the fairy. I love that. That's so cute. Tinker could be a bit of a moody Air Force base, and Poke, holy moly, so many things, so many forts and bases. Teresa, where have you traveled to? It seems like you're well traveled. I'd love to hear about it. So some more stuff about this deck is just it's kind of, if you like more of that witchy stuff, if you're that kind of person, something that this deck does come with. I actually do not believe in this, but if you do, that's cool. So some people believe that if you basically tap your deck with this crystal, it comes with this crystal. It's supposed to cleanse all energy. So if you have people that so the theory is, if you have a lot of people handling your deck, other people's energy can kind of get wrapped up in your deck. So this is supposed to clear everything out, or negative, or all of that external stuff. It just cleans it all up and you start fresh, essentially. So that's, if that's something that you're interested in, this is actually a cool deck. I like it for single card readings. Let me share with you guys the back of it and the sides, so because it's just really cool. So here it has this it kind of looks gold. It totally looks gold on my camera. This is actually more iridescent. It's got this beautiful rainbow shimmer to it. And then here's the back of the cards. I love how colorful it is in contrast to the cards themselves are all black and white. It's a really cool deck. All right, so my last deck of today, because we're running out of time, I'm so sorry. I'm going to share with you because Teresa was talking about fairies, I'm going to share with you the deck that I actually picked out. I was very young. I was a child, and I knew exactly what deck I wanted, and it is this one. So this is I can't believe it's on Amazon. It's the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud and Jessica Macbeth. It is my favorite Oracle deck. So let me open it up. It's really, really cool. So obviously the illustrations are fantastic. Brian Froud is the king of fairies, as far as I'm concerned. This has been well used. I have to be a little gentle. I've had this deck for, I think, like 25 years. It's been a long time. So here we have an illustration of each card. It's not a colored illustration. It's actually blue. And then we have a very in-depth guide on the fairy itself. And then the reading, what each fairy means in a reading. And we also have a reversal reading. So let me quickly share with you the inside of the cards. So I'm going to have to sift through some of these because we do have nudity in these cards because they're fairies and they're free. But we also have elements in here. So here's the Singer of Connecting. We have different kinds of fairies come in different shapes and sizes and forms. So this is the Friends card, so that we can see it's like a little cute creature. And it's very vibrant and fun. My camera's not doing this justice. But we also have weird, fun creatures like this one. We also have gnomes, because fairies encompass all kinds of things like elves, gnomes. I think maybe dwarves might be, maybe not. I can't remember. Here, let me see. Here is the Lady of the Harvest. So very stunning, really fun illustrations. This one is Talon the Sylph. Solus. So we have like big entities that are essentially like the elements, or what would you call that? I can't come up with the word anymore. It's gone. We have the Green Woman, so another like human form of the element itself. So Solus was more like fire. This is the Green Woman, more earthy. Here we have a creature, Arvel the Parrot. So these are all fairies that Brian Froud and Jessica Macbeth have said they've seen before. You don't necessarily have to believe in that. That's totally fine. I just really love this deck because it's just really beautiful with all kinds of creatures and fun ideas. And the questions that they ask in this deck is really cool. It's really informative. And I love Brian Froud. That's it. I love Brian Froud and fairies, honestly. Anyway, so that is actually the end of my show. If you, again, do like that Halloween aesthetic, make sure to follow us because we do a lot of live streams, and we are going to be covering a lot of Halloween stuff as Halloween is coming. There's a countdown. So give us a follow. We totally appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching the show on tarot card and oracle decks. I hope to see you guys soon. And yeah, again, give us a follow. We stream often about horror trivia, dark books, children's toys, Halloween decorations, just Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. So a lot of darker oriented things, gothic things, horror movies. So give us a follow. Thank you again. I will talk to you guys soon.